inevitably we got caught. And this nigga went back to jail in 2019, right? And this was when I was like living in Hollywood, pursuing my dreams and whatnot. And I was afraid he might lose his house, so I moved back to Compton to save it. And I was like, what's the worst that could happen, right? 6 months later, I get shot at by my neighbor. And I only call him my neighbor because I no longer feel comfortable calling him my friend from high school. You know? It was weird. It's like, you ever been caught up in some shit that has nothing to do with you? Right? Like, he had sex with the wrong man's girl, right? And all of this happened before 8 a.m., right? So, 6 a.m., this guy comes over, keys his car while it's in the driveway. He sees us on the Ring camera, comes home by 7 a.m. to assess the damage. By 8 a.m., I get up because, you know, that's the time I get up. My morning routine normally consists of yoga, smoothies, and meditation. Like most niggas from Compton. So I go outside to move my brother's car because it's street sweeping time. And I hear shh, as soon as I open the door. I look up and my friend is standing in the fucking yard in his drawers with a gun in his hand. Now luckily, the bullet missed me and killed our friendship. You ever been shot at after yoga, nigga? That's why I namaste my ass in the house. So this was one of the last times I saw my brother before he had to go to prison in 2019. I was away in Atlanta working on a show when I got a call from him and he was like, yo, I'm in trouble. They offered me a 2-year plea deal. If I fight the case and I lose, then I have to do 14 years for illegal possession or something like that. And you know, it was a sad moment. I didn't want to hear that. He didn't want to say it. And he was worried that he was gonna lose his house while he was away. And without thinking, I was just like, yo, I'll give up my Hollywood apartment and move back home to Compton, which is what I did. And I was like, what's the worst that can happen, right? A lot of shit happened. A whole lot of shit.
Just got to my brother's house to see the mess he left for me to clean up. Check it out.
This is all shit you ain't touched in nigga years. Trash. Dirt, trash, and junk. Fan broke as soon as we touched it, nigga. This shit hold on by a thread. You got picture frames with no pictures in it.
With white people?
With white people. Gonna get that shit off the wall too. Nigga, you just keep your shit. All your socks and drawers are here safely where you like them. We got, nigga, all these DVDs and about to go in the trash. You ain't watched in ever. Dirty ass speakers. You got 80,000 remotes. Nigga, the ants and the spiders living here. You don't.
Check out the new digs. Not necessarily the best condition right now, because niggas still moving in. Didn't get to vlog much of this process of moving in because goddamn it, I was moving and I didn't have movers, so you know what that means.
So a lot of crazy things happened once I moved into this house. COVID, crazy neighbors.
Yo, what up, Chris? Can I help you find something? No, you can't, man. I'll do something. Let me eat in your yard. But you ain't got to feel that right for work, okay? I don't know that. I don't know why you here. Hey, hold up. Well, don't play with me like that. I said, okay, you got your camera on me too?
Hell yeah. I got
your
5 cameras on you right now.
Nigga, would you get out of here with that?
Hey, you in my yard. Don't tell me what I'm going to do or you in my yard.
Let me see that what. Make sure I don't see it.
Don't make sure. I don't give a fuck if you see it or not, Chris. You here for what reason?
Hey, look, it ain't none of your business while I'm here now.
It is my business because I live here.
Hold up. Your brother live here too, so I'm here to see your brother.
He live in the back. You fucking whole hovercraft in my yard.
You a funny acting brother. Let me tell you about yourself.
I'm literally on my porch in my socks right now.
I'm your neighbor, right? You pass by my, you put this on here. You pass by my house, you need to speak to me, nigga. And you see me out there with my daughter. You see me out there with my daughter. You want to speak to me. You pass by my house with your niggas all the time. You act like you don't see me, homie.
Who the fuck are you talking to right now?
I'm talking to you, nigga.
It's 10 a.m. Stop yelling at me and get the fuck off of this property, bro.
You don't speak to me, homie. You don't speak to me, homie. You don't speak to me, homie.
You don't want me, man.
Get off my property.
You walk around like you gonna do something. Shut up, you bitch ass nigga.
You shut the fuck up and get off my property.
Bitch ass nigga. Funny acting motherfucker.
Get the fuck up and get off of my property, Chris.
Yeah.
Get the fuck off of my property, Chris.
You see what you just done, homie? You see what you just done?
Come here. Come here. Chris, get the fuck off of the property, bro. I'm not talking to you no more.
God damn it!
Baby, come here.
God damn it!
So I know how this looks, but clearly I'm talking to a mentally ill person, all right? And I know people will be like, oh, I would have did this, and if somebody said that, I would have did that. The calm that I have in that moment is from me knowing that the screws is loose, all right? And anybody who runs their mouth that way ain't really trying to fight you, because I was standing there the whole time. If you want to do something, you would. You know what I'm saying? The thing that was most puzzling to me is that he literally rode a Segway into the yard with an empty bucket in his hand, talking to me about I don't say hi to him. I was thoroughly confused. Not only that, I was on the phone. I had just got out of a therapy session. You know what I'm saying? If anything, this motherfucker owes me $100 because he ruined all the woosah that I got from talking to my goddamn counselor. And while I was there, I wrote my first feature film, which is an extended version of Flawed, the short film. And before we get into the feature, actually, wait, no. This is my writing space. It's temporary. I usually just need sunlight and music and I'm good to go. But I need my boards on the wall so I can actually see the film that I'm working on. March 11th, and I'm at this kitchen table where I finished the first draft of Flawed. The feature, just hole punching this hole. About to start letting people read it, poke holes in it, figure out what's wrong with it, and then rewrite it. Oh, the dreaded rewrites. Hopefully when I rewrite it, I won't do it in front of this sad window, because I can only write in front of some sunlight, but as you can see, I'm not getting much in this kitchen, which is, I cannot wait to get out of this kitchen. Can you please just print? Please. Please print. Please. Please print. Pretty please. Okay, let's try it one more time.
3 hours later.
Thank you. A little bit bigger than I needed, but thank you, printer. Donations, anybody, please. Sir, trying to raise money for a short film? You mind helping a young black filmmaker? No? All right, just trying to be the next Robert Townsend, next Ryan Coogler. Blassie. Hey boy, what's cracking, Blassie? What's brackin', Blassie? I'm just trying to raise money for my short film. It's really funny, and it'll raise awareness for sickle cell, but it's really difficult to get donations. I guess you're right. What's that, boy? Help! My dog has sickle cell!
Oh man, all right. Quick blog entry. Quiet as kept, I've been working really hard on Flawed, which is, again, like I've said this 1,000 times, it's mainly why I've been taking my foot off the gas of the digital world, but man, I'm making progress, baby. You know what I'm saying? I had a lot of pitch meetings for Flawed, especially like last year and the beginning of this year. But the meeting I had today, April 8th, might bring it to a new level. And I don't want to speak too soon. I don't want to get too excited, but people are getting involved and people are getting interested in this story and this show. I just feel good about it. I'm literally just doing this to celebrate the small victory that I had today with Flawed and pitching and talking to someone who's very important, very heavy in the game, and who likes this idea. I don't know, man. I just feel good. I know it doesn't seem like I'm beaming with energy right now because I like to just keep a cap on, you know, until like the ink is dry. I don't like to get too excited, but I just wanted to take a second to like really acknowledge the moment that I'm having and the work that was put in to get to this moment and say good fucking job, you know, to myself. It's gonna happen one way or another, right? Like, you guys are eventually gonna see all the stuff that I've been working on. You're gonna see all the effort I put into this eventually, one day. Now, whether it's on a network like Netflix or Hulu or HBO, whatever, that's still up in the air. But you will see it, and it will all make sense. And I'm telling myself this just as much as I'm telling y'all. Anyway, back to life. Just wanted to check in and say that real quick. Also, yeah, for those of you that are working on your own ideas, keep chipping away at it, even though nobody else knows what it is that you're doing. You see the vision, and that's all that matters. It's up to you to bring it to life. Because if you don't, that idea is gonna travel to somebody who will. Keep that in mind. So, Flawed was a 5-day shoot. And listen, everybody who you see in these videos helping me film Flawed are like angels, because they came together for this film just off the strength of the script, because I didn't have a lot of money. Honestly, the film costs about 15 grand to make, and the way that it looks is just incredible. Like, the cast was incredible, the crew's incredible.
That is a picture wrap on Callie, guys. Guys, it's a picture wrap on Crystal.
Happy birthday to you.
Literally my birthday.
Happy birthday. Woo! Yeah.
It's impossible without all of you wonderful people helping out and deciding to jump on board for the lowest of budgets. And you guys have brought so much love and creativity and just dopeness to this film, and I cannot wait till it does what it needs to do for all of us, and we continue to flourish and do dope projects, and definitely we'll be working together soon. Thank you. So, September 18th, 10 a.m. at the crib. Just got the sound design back from the sound mixers for Flawed. So that was pretty much the last thing I was waiting on, and I think it's safe to say that Flawed is done. Officially done. Maybe not really. It needs another like pass of color, but other than that, Flawed is done, and it's at a place where I can submit it to festivals. And the deadline for South by Southwest is September 19th. So today, I'm submitting to South by Southwest, and this is the first of many that we're gonna try to get into with Flawed. So just wanted to capture this moment because it was kind of special. To just even feel like I could say the words Flawed is done. You know, this has been something I've been working on since 2017, you know. Around this time, 2017, I think I've been working on this film for probably exactly 2 years. The script for 1 year and the film for 1 year. And now I'm submitting it. Damn, it's crazy.
I think Flawed is amazing. I mean, we didn't see it yet, but I assume that it's going to be amazing because Jay Snow is amazing, and the people part of this production is amazing as well. So you put amazing people together, amazing happens. NBA.
Snow made a movie. I don't know if they have a poster child for sickle cell, but I'm gonna nominate you.
I believe you guys are gonna really enjoy it. It touches on a very personal topic, something that took me forever to start to try to write about and talk about. So hope you guys enjoy it. And afterwards, maybe we'll talk about it, maybe we won't.
Okay. What seems to be the problem, sir?
I'm having a sickle cell crisis.
You know what triggered your crisis, sir?
Sex.
I'm sorry, sir. I can't hear you.
Sex.
Sir, you're gonna have to speak up.
I was fucking!
It's not a question, it's a comment. I've seen a lot of short films in my life, and this is the first time I've seen a short film where I wanted it to be a feature length. I wanted it.
Story and something that you've been through like that is so different and creative. Honest to God, I want to give you more money.
Flawed was the point blank period. I enjoyed the fact that Jay Snow was comfortable enough to tell us his story. As far as Flawed, I would come see this over and over. I hope that you're planning on extending it or telling another side of your story, because I would love to see it. And my son like you, so I'm gonna bring him to make sure I get him to see Flawed too.
There was a whole lot of points to the movie. It was really good. The acting was great. I loved it. Thank you.
We got a lot of really great feedback. We're super, super proud of this. Thank you guys all for supporting it. Everybody who donated to the film, everybody who's like come to our screenings. It's just amazing to have a premiere and see people authentically react to the story in real time. And I think that this is gonna go really far, and I'm so proud. Thanks, guys.
Miss Linda, the mother of the fabulous and famous Jay Snow. We just saw his film, Flawed. It was wonderful when I saw it the first time, and it still is. I love him very much, and thank you.
If your mom don't gas you like that, is she even really your mom? I love this woman. This is a trip, G. Like, I'm really headed to my first film festival. I made a film. I just left the f***ing Directors Guild of America.
The sickle cell part, is that personal or not? And then the other question is, why did you feel you had to have it in a almost funny undertone to get the message across about the disease?
I mean, you know, that's one of the things I hear as an aspiring filmmaker is like, if you haven't seen the story or the actor or role that you want, then you have to create it, right? So being a sickle cell patient and warrior, I always wanted to sort of explain to people, because I get that question all the time, what is sickle cell, what does it do, how does it affect you? And You know, I feel like using my art to express that would be the best way. The undertone, as far as comedy is concerned, I have a comedy background. Like I started in sketch on YouTube and then did stand-up. And so anything I do naturally has somewhat of a comedy undertone, but it's more digestible to learn about something as serious as sickle cell if you're laughing while doing it, you know? So that was kind of the goal, was to sort of keep it funny and real at the same time. Bro, did you see that? 3 award nominations for Flawed. 3! And you still ain't got your tickets yet? Don't be in no rinky-dink theater. It's at the Regal Cinemas at LA Live, bruh. It's a legit IMAX theater. You pass it every time you get on a 110. Get your tickets, fam. See what the hype is about. 3 awards, bruh. 3. Cinematography, comedy, and directing. Don't talk to me, bro. I'm about to pull up on the Miss Show Film Festival at LA Live, right next to the Staples Center, fam. I have a film playing in the Regal's Cinema Theater near the Staples Center, fam.
With JSnow and Chantel, how are you guys doing tonight? How does it feel to be in this room full of creatives?
It feels electrifying. I would just first like to say that I own a suit and I wore it yesterday.
Jimmy, this was your first film.
Yeah.
And now you're nominated for Outstanding Comedy, Outstanding Cinematography, and Director? How are you feeling? Like this is your first film. That's crazy for you.
I mean, I feel amazing. I feel electrified. And
the winner for Outstanding Directing is JSnowPro.
That was my first film, first short film. I deal with sickle cell anemia, and for a long time I didn't want to talk to people about it, so Flawed was my attempt at pushing that the stories of myself and other sickle cell warriors closer to mainstream media. And this whole process has been very magical, and this acknowledgement is really awesome, and I really thank you guys for it. Keep creating stuff, people. Thank you.
Flawed was nominated for 3 awards: Outstanding Directing, Outstanding Comedy, and Outstanding Cinematography. We won 2 of them things.
2 out of 3.
2 out of 3. And one of them is indeed Flawed. Look at the first one, what it says. That's not us.
We still got the award.
It was a mistake, they said. They'll fix it later. It feels like we took it. But this one is right. That one's right. Won 2 awards. Had to give one of them back so they could fix the nameplate because it had a different movie on it. It was a real Moonlight moment. And it's a testament to the film because the first award that Flawed won was Flawed. How about that?
Flawed was an incredible experience, and getting to see how people responded to it was even better. And I got to talk to Vivica A. Fox. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was pretty wild.
Welcome to Fox Soul Screening Room. What's up, J-Snow?
What up, Vivica? What's good with y'all? Thank you guys for having me. He's in competition with me for no reason, right? Like, this was the first time I didn't get to spend a birthday with my mom for her birthday. So I sent her an edible arrangement of flowers from New York. And out of nowhere, I get a text from my brother that reads, "You sneaky piece of shit," right? And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, why wouldn't you put on the card that it was from all of us? I was like, because it wasn't from all of us. Duh. 30 minutes later, he sends me a picture of a cake that he bought her. It's a beautiful cake, right? Has pictures of her from before she was married, she was a teenager, stuff I've never seen before. It was very endearing. Problem is, my mom is a diabetic. I was like, you could have got her a quilt, a poster, why would you get her a cake? He responds, nah, fuck you, you lost. I was like, we're both about to lose. Our mom. What is wrong with you?
Fox Soul Screening Room. What's up, Jay Snow?
What up, Vivica? What's good with y'all? Thank you guys for having me.
You're welcome, you're welcome. You know, we're here today because, you know, this is all a platform for us, you know, giving Black filmmakers an opportunity to bring their projects to, you know, to our audience. And you did a wonderful short film called Flawed. Tell us all about you.
Flawed is a story of an LA comic who's forced to come clean about his chronic illness to his new girlfriend once it's triggered on their first date.
Now, did this story come from a true place with you? Is this a real story or?
Yeah, it is. It's
wow.
Yeah, it actually took place not exactly like it did in the film. I'd say it was a lot less cinematic and dramatic, but it is something that is based on a true event for sure.
Now, you're not just a filmmaker, but you're a writer, a stand-up comedian. You know, so that's what I love, that it's like you mix comedy and drama and message all in one wonderful short film. Now, did you also write this as well?
Yeah, I wrote it, I directed it, and I'm starring in it. And not for selfish reasons, literally just because it was the cheapest way to go. And I bet on me, you know?
Well, how did it feel to you wearing all of those different hats?
It was nerve-wracking because, you know, like everyone wants to believe that they are who they say they are until you're like put to the test, right? And so I was lucky enough to have trusted and to have partnered with a bunch of different people who were passionate about film, who I could believe would tell me the truth if something was working or wasn't working. And it kind of worked out really well. It was magical. Like I can't believe it like worked out as well as it did, because prior to like filming, we had like zero budget, zero people, and it kind of all just came together last minute.
So how did you make that happen? Did you know, because I tell people, cash in on favors, don't be afraid. You know, people love to know that they're going to be in a movie or doing something. You're like, yo, if we can use your location, how did you make all that happen, going from a zero budget to completing a film?
All of that. I swallowed spoonful after spoonful of pride, and I was like, listen, I crowdfunded. I started my GoFundMe. I made advertisements to promote the film, and then I shopped the script around. That's what basically was my saving grace. Was I left it all on the page, and people gravitated towards the truth that was there, and that it was a real story and passionate. So, you know, that's what saved me, to be honest. The story sort of tells the story of a guy who's afraid to come clean about his illness to someone that he just started dating, which is true for me. You know, it's not every day you want to just drop over bread at the dinner table that, hey, you know, so I have a chronic illness, you know. So, but, you know, so you kind of gotta wait for the right time. And, you know.
Here you go. Oh, by the way, I got Cassie Pepper.
Right. You know, it's terminal, but, you know. Can we get some more water? No, you know, like.
You're so funny. So, who are your heroes in the film?
My heroes in the film are definitely the friend. You know, like the Snow's friend, Jock, is my he's somebody who like was just really honest, but also funny about it and just nurturing. You know what I'm saying? And those are the type of people you need in your corner to tell you like, no, this is the way you should go. This is right, this is wrong, you know?
Was he based on a real character or somebody that's in your life?
He's pulled from a lot of people in my friend groups, you know, male and female, like people who actually do keep it real with me and who want my best interest to come first. And so, yeah, he's a blend of a few people that are in my life.
What's next for you, brother?
What's next is to get the feature made. I've been writing pretty much all quarantine. You know, I've worked on the show version of Flawed. There's so much more information and material to convey pertaining to sickle cell, and not just sickle cell, but people dealing with emotional, physical, and mental flaws. And there's more stories to be told, and those are the stories that I'm passionate about, and I believe people deserve to hear. So that's what's next, is figuring out how I can expand this story to what I see and to get it out to the world so that they can see it as well.
Well, in closing, can I ask you this? What's this experience been like for you today? here you are, talking with Vivica Fox.
First of
You
all,
have your film Flawed on Fox Soul Screening Room. What's that feel like?
it's insane. It's like I had no idea that taking such a big leap would lead me to where I'm discussing my short with Vivica A. Fox. Like, you are cinematic royalty. I know you know this. Like, from Why Do Fools Fall in Love to Soul Food to Set It Off to Kill Bill. Like, your fight scene with Uma Thurman is probably the best fight scene between two women in cinema. And I'm just honored to be able to talk to you right now. I'm honored for sure. Thanks to Fox Soul, thanks to Vivica. I love all of you guys.
Well, Jay, we want to say in closing, thank you so much for being with us here today. And we look forward to seeing what creative brilliance you're going to be coming out with next, brother. All right?
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Best wishes.
Been working at this for a while now, getting this show together, getting these ideas together. And now it's just about trying to get a team to help push this, to the next level. Share the story, pitch, some ideas. We'll talk. We'll see how it goes.
But somebody was like, no. Pay attention to this person. The stuff he's making is better than the rest of the stuff. And I thought it was true. And then I looked and he's writing and he's directing and he's doing all this stuff. And fast forward to transitioning out of there and him wanting to make this short and fast forward to he makes this short, did everything on the short, and I thought I was genuinely blown away.
Really, really well directed and I just thought really well done. I love the lighting. I love the shots that you picked. So I don't know if you've heard that.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I did. I appreciate that. And, I'm glad people responded to it the way they did because it was extremely vulnerable for me. It was kind of a way for me to really address something that I had been avoiding in my career up until that point. I'm glad I found the right way or a way to do it that just kind of clicked and aligned with me and other people.
Had you never talked about it before?
I wasn't as vocal about it because I don't know, there's that stigma with looking weak and, there's the ego and all of these other things. Plus there's just the nuance of trying to explain something like that to people. So everybody has that moment where they have a near-death experience and it kicks life into gear for them or whatever. I've had that over my head my entire life, so even now in this moment, I'm like, yeah, we gotta figure this out, I gotta get this show, because next week, so.
I might die.
Exactly, there's that looming.
You gotta do the show before I die. I mean, that's stakes. That's true stakes.
Seriously, and those stakes bleed into the show through this character who's essentially just trying to figure out his romantic life and try to be a pillar for his family at the same time. Or at least get them to a position, to get these two things to a position where if he's gone, they're sustainable, Can I have a family? Can I start a family before this thing takes over? Or can I help my family be financially stable? And, those are the type of things that I'd love to explore, is these family dynamics and what it is like to live with an invisible disability. I think now more than ever is a great time to explore vulnerability in Black men. This show could give men permission to be vulnerable, all of these things that I know now, I had to figure out through trial and error and just relationships falling out and me not understanding why and why I'm being a bad friend or just not communicating properly and keeping secrets and whatnot, because it's hard to navigate growing up as a young adult, but also at a different playing field than everyone else,
I read your pilot, right? So there's a pilot, there's a short, and then you have the series Bible. I think, selling people on the fact that you have a show that is going to be funny, but it's about sickle cell, which is, I think you can relate that to anything. You can relate that to addiction. You can relate that to an eating disorder.
Yeah.
So I think that's the universal thing there. I think I think it's just about getting people to trust in your voice and knowing that it's going to be funny.
That's all I needed. That's all I needed for him to do that. And it became personal with me.
So, finished up the meeting with the person I was meeting with about the show. They read my pilot. They weren't even supposed to read it.
Apparently they got it by accident. They read the pilot, loved the pilot, thought it was very well written, all of the good stuff, right? And loves the idea of the story. Is curious as to why people haven't like bit on the idea yet, but there's a few ideas as to why. Like, you know, like maybe my followers ain't as high as these niggas likely it to be before niggas can get shows. I don't know. Who knows, right? Either way, she seems intrigued, which is good. It seemed like we meshed well, we vibe. She threw a couple jabs at me, some jokes here and there. Hopefully she comes to a show in the near future. Either way, I gotta send her a thank you message, and you know, fucking, it's disgusting. I hate doing it, but here we are. I wanted to read it. Dear blah. I know a post-meeting thank you email I want to throw up too, but hopefully this won't be too disgusting. Thanks again, J Snow. From downtown. Beyond you taking the time to meet with us, reading my pilot by accident, and giving me great feedback about it, I truly appreciate how you showed up to the meeting. You offered much more than you had to. I feel like I left with gems and insight on how things work and how to approach something like this from a different strategy. That's invaluable to me because how you start something is everything. I'd love to soak up as much as you can tolerate teaching me. I'm certain you have other people who love your commitment to their projects. That being said, I'm definitely one of those people, but like way more interesting, just to be clear. Truthfully, I trust my dope, because I got kilos of it. Raw, uncut dope, right? I also trust this story. And after that call, I trust that you see the vision, because you did. You know why? Because real recognizes real. I couldn't resist. When's the last time you got to say that, huh? All right, I'll stop. In short, I'd love to do this with you. Thanks again, J Snow. We'll see.
And one thing I noticed about LA that I hadn't before is that there's like free bookshelves in certain neighborhoods. Y'all see that shit? It's literally like a house, right? And they have a bookcase with just books, and they're free. And you can exchange books, right? You couldn't do that shit in Compton. Like if you saw random bookshelves in Compton with books on them, that shit would be on the news. All right? You'd see reporters flooding the street. Investigators suspect the cartel is using books to smuggle drugs. You know? And then the news will always find that one weird black dude to fucking say some stupid shit on camera. It's evil in them books. Ronald Reagan put him there in the 80s. To kill and mock a bird. More like to kill and mock niggas.
Hi, I'm Laura Schutz, and your dog may be in grave danger. Lack of depth perception, weakened jaw muscles, and hind leg dystrophy are just a few of the many symptoms of a disease that is killing dogs nationwide. That disease is sickle cell. 2 out of every 12 dogs are born with sickle cell every 6 minutes, and they most likely live in apartment buildings. This deadly disease breaks down your dog's nervous system, causing mid-air strokes. Dogs with sickle cell are more prone to heart attacks, restless paw syndrome, and gingivitis. You can help save a dog with sickle cell today by donating to www.dogswithsicklecell.com. Please hurry. Dogs with sickle cell are 87% more likely to commit suicide. Save a dog with sickle cell today.
I said this before, but one of the best things that happened to me during this Compton COVID era was my dog Biggie. I wasn't really big on being a dog dad. I never thought I would be, but my brother and my neighbor were both terrible dog dads, right? Because my brother had a Portuguese water dog and my neighbor had a brindle pit bull. They met, skipped dinner, and went straight to
They are savages on these titties, bro.
So I went from having 0 dogs to 7 dogs. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't gonna take care of all of them by myself. So once they were old enough to get adopted, I let like all of the other girls get adopted, and I kept Biggie. He was the only boy. And yeah, man, I became the corny dog dad, and I love this nigga now. So I ended up keeping the dogs for about 2 months until they were old enough to get adopted, and we found them some great homes. They live in cushy lives right now.
Look at them go. Like, goddamn, be gentle. That's your mom, fam. These are little savages.
He's adorable. He's the most chill dog in the world. He listens. He allows me to train him. Come on. All right. Down. Dog. Sit. Give me 5. It's my mother. Dog. Ready? Oh yeah. I don't know, this bar smells like peanut butter or something when he squeezes it. It makes his mouth water like crazy. But also, and I don't know how I could have got through the rest of 2020 without him. I love this thing. My nigga! Real quick, make sure you follow Biggie on Instagram at goodboybiggie. All right, so this is a little surreal. Like I'm here shooting outside on Laurel Canyon in North Hollywood right now. I remember driving by like sets like this and seeing trucks and lights and people and all this stuff and thinking to myself, man, that's crazy. They shooting over there. I wonder what they're shooting. It's probably a movie or a show or something or commercial. And now I'm literally watching people drive by, probably asking themselves that same question, looking at us shoot, which is wild. I'm enjoying this, if you can't tell.
Adjusting the adjustments.
We're acting.
Yeah, we don't touch that stuff.
We don't touch anything. We just do what we do.
Have you ever tried to take a nap, but the nap take you? And you wake up in darkness? It's scary. Hey, yo, look, that's Pac-Man. That guy over there? Yeah, bro, it's not Pac-Man.
Seriously? Excuse me, are you Pac-Man?
See, he didn't say yes.
What you mean, man? He can only say Waka Waka.
Define Waka Waka.
Oh, Waka Waka.
He's so funny.
You both speak Waka Waka now.
It's a universal language.
And then like clockwork, I got sick again. So earlier today, I went to Kaiser, I went to Sickle Cell Clinic for a treatment, which typically means I get pain medicines and IV fluid. 4 days ago, I started to have hip pain in my left hip. It was really bad then, but it was bad enough for me to go to the ER. I go to the Sickle Cell Clinic to avoid having to get admitted to the hospital. And I sort of try to get ahead of the pain before it gets too bad. So 4 days ago, I went to the ER, got fluids, pain medicine, went home. Pain was still there. I ended up going to the Sickle Cell Clinic today, which is what you saw earlier. And they tried to get an IV in my arm 3 times. 3rd time's a charm. Cut to 7 hours later, I get a call from my nurse and my doctor saying that my blood count dropped to 6.4. For most sickle cell patients, from what I've heard, have blood counts that stay around 10. A normal blood count for a normal person is probably 15. Mine today is at 6.4, which is very low. And usually when my blood count drops below 7, that means I should get a blood transfusion to boost it back up. Problem with blood transfusions is that if you get enough of them, your body will build or develop rare antibodies that makes them useless later down the line in life when you need one, which is what I don't want to happen. But I don't know. I don't know what to do. All I know is that I'm back here at Kaiser because my blood count is low, and they had to stick me 3 times this time to get this one. So 6 needles in 1 day sucks. One thing I am grateful for though is that my pain isn't as bad
as it normally would be when my blood count drops below 7. Usually when my blood count drops below 7, I'm in excruciating pain, but it's not the case this time, which is very strange. I honestly just don't know what's going on with my body right now. I wish I could say I knew or could explain what's happening, but I don't fucking know. I don't think these doctors know. I don't think these nurses know. I don't think anybody knows, because it's fucking sickle cell, you know? Ain't nobody got time for that. I wonder why.
One of my favorite things to do during this time, a treat for me, was driving my brother's 1964 Impala. Listen, that's a fun car. There's no way around it. It is very dangerous though. Lowriders are like ships. They break all the time. It didn't have power steering. It doesn't have seat belts, okay? And then one time while I was driving it, the fuel line exploded and started spewing gas down the street. I got a mile down the road before somebody caught up to me and was like, yo, you leaking gas. And it could have been disastrous, but luckily I got back home. And I mean, listen, I took care of that car way more than my brother ever did. I gave the car way more love. He never got under the car to like fix anything on it, but I did. My brother was a really overprotective person because he was in and out of prison. You know, he stole cars, he sold drugs, so naturally he didn't want me to sell drugs unless they was his. You know? This nigga was Old Testament toxic. Like, we was at a bar and he wanted to holler at this girl, so he spit his game and she shut him down. She was like, I'm sorry, sir, I'm celibate. And he was like, if you celibate, I'll buy a bit. How much you selling it for? I was like, nigga, you gotta chill. So at the end of the day, I was grateful that my brother didn't actually have to do the entire 2 years during COVID. It ended up being more like 10 months. So one day, I was shooting a commercial and I was in a pool on a floaty and I got a call and it was from him. It was Thursday, right? And he was like, yo, what you doing? I was like, I'm shooting a commercial. He was like, all right, I'm coming home tomorrow. I was like, yo, that's dope as hell, but tomorrow? Like, really? I thought I would have a little more time by myself, but it's cool, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? Have you told anybody? And he was like, no, you're the only person I told. And I was like, dope, okay, so now we gotta surprise people. And I couldn't think of anybody I wanted to surprise more than our mom.
Right now, probably eating breakfast. Like, man, just let me out this motherfucker. What I gotta do, nigga? I gotta do 5 more minutes for you, nigga. Groceries, huh? Get the hell up out of here. Charlotte. keeping on here? Nigga, since 6:30. You out. Woohoo! So you like to listen?
So I learned a lot of lessons moving back to Compton. It was something that I did out of love. And then once I got there, I realized that it was probably one of the hardest decisions I made just because of the stress, the drama, and also it was COVID era. And, you know, like my brother was going through things. Those calls with him in prison were pretty tough. Not only were they tough, you had to pay for them, which is some bullshit. But anyway, private prisons are just bullshit in general. And it just taught me a lot about myself. It taught me a lot about what I'm capable of. And it taught me a lot about how to, you know, just give selflessly to people. And God will return gifts to you, you know, and he gave me the film. He gave me my dog. He gave me wisdom. One of the biggest lessons that I learned moving back to Compton, which was something I didn't want to do, was learning that, like, going back to a place like that is not always a bad thing. Because think of it this way. Like, imagine you're on the edge of a cliff, right? And you have to take a leap. Before you take that leap, you got to take a few steps back to get momentum, right? Before you jump, which Compton was that for me, because now I'm in New York and I'm working on an HBO show, which is all kinds of stuff you're gonna learn about in the next few volumes. I'm grateful for that time. It was rough, and I'm not going back to that damn house ever again. But, you know, onward and upward, baby.